Checkmate. Creating stunning chessboard with Python. Introduction to Python chessboard.
The create chessboard function.
The print chessboard function. Executing the code. Customizing the chessboard.
Conclusion.
Welcome to the world of Python chessboard. In this presentation, we will explore the concept of creating a chessboard using Python. You might be wondering why it's important to learn such a skill. Well, not only is it a fun and engaging way to improve your Python programming skills, but it also helps you to develop your logical thinking and problem-solving abilities. By learning how to create a chessboard, you'll be able to apply these skills to other areas of programming as well. The create a chessboard function is a fundamental part of creating a chessboard using Python. It is responsible for generating the board by using nested loops and conditional statements. The function takes two arguments, the number of rows and columns in the board. It then uses loops to iterate through each row and column and conditional statements to determine which squares should be filled with black or white pieces. To illustrate how the function works, let's consider an example where we want to create an 8x8 chessboard. We start by defining our function and setting up our loop structure. We then use conditional statements to determine whether a square should be filled with a black or white piece. Finally, we return the completed board as a list of lists, where each inner list represents a row of the board. The print chessboard function is responsible for formatting the chessboard in a way that can be easily displayed on the screen. It takes the two-dimensional list created by the created chessboard function and converts it into a visual representation of the board. To achieve this, the function uses loops to iterate over each row and column of the chessboard and conditional statements to determine whether each square should be black or white. Once the appropriate color has been determined, the function adds it to a string that represents the entire row of the chessboard. This process is repeated for each row until the entire board has been represented as a string. Finally, the function prints the resulting string to the console, creating a graphical representation of the chessboard that can be easily viewed and understood. To execute the code for creating and displaying the chessboard, you will need to open a Python IDE or text editor. Once you have opened the appropriate software, copy and paste the code for the create a chessboard and print chessboard functions into the editor. Make sure that the functions are defined in the correct order, with the print chessboard function calling the create chessboard function calling the create chessboard function. Next, run the code by clicking on the Run button or selecting Run from the menu. The output should be a graphical representation of the chessboard, with alternating black and white squares arranged in an 8x8 grid. To customize the chessboard in Python, you can modify the code to change the size or colors of the squares. By adjusting the variables that define the dimensions and colors of the board, you can create a wide range of different chessboards. For example, you could create a chessboard with larger or smaller squares by changing the size of the AI square sizes variable. Or you could create a board with different colored squares by modifying the lightest square A and darkest guess color and darkest guess color variables. The possibilities are endless. In conclusion, we have learned how to create a chessboard using Python by utilizing the created chessboard and print chessboard functions. We have also explored ways to customize the chessboard by changing its size or colors. By mastering this skill, you can not only create a visually appealing chessboard, but also improve your coding abilities. Creating a chessboard using Python is an important skill to have as it helps in understanding the concepts of loops, conditional statements, and formatting output. It allows you to develop your logic and problem-solving skills, which are essential for any programmer. I encourage you to explore further on your own and continue learning to enhance your skills.